Third person's POV. Not at all boys senior high school. Winter in Kobe had always been cold and chilly, but today felt a little different. It was just as cold as ever, but the sun was visible in the sky, bright and vivid, as if trying to soften the day. Creak, the metal gate opened slowly, its quiet groan breaking the silence. The guard stood up from his chair, eyeing the boy who had just stepped in. "Hey, you're late," he said, adjusting his cap. "What's your name?" "Akimitsu," the boy replied softly. "Akimitsu Chino." The guard gave a slight nod. "And where's your identity card?" "Gomen," Akimitsu said, a little flustered. "Today's my first day." The guard's tone eased. "Ah, I see. Go then, all the best." "Hi," Akimitsu replied with a shy smile, clutching the strap of his bag a little tighter as he walked past. Akimitsu Chino, a vision of delicate beauty, with skin pale as moonlight, soft brown hair that drifted like a breath across his brow, and deep-set eyes glowing beneath long, curled lashes, as though touched by stardust and silence. Though at a glance one might say he was more of a pretty boy than a handsome male, but the striking contrast between his delicate face and his well-built body made it clear that he was a young, healthy man. His broad shoulders, firm physique, and height almost reaching 6 feet gave him a distinctly masculine appearance. But unlike his name and appearance, he was shy, silent type, and a full-fledged introvert. Making conversations and interacting with people was pretty hard for him. He had spent all his middle school in solitary, no friends at all. But this time he wanted to make relations. Even one friend would be enough for him. His academic life was dull too. He was average in studies, though a sincere student who paid attention in class. What truly lit a spark in him was art, be it drawing, painting, sketching, or portraits. It gave him a sense of control, freedom, and power. He was free to draw whatever he liked. While he might not always acquire things through his will, he could paint them the way he wanted and have them all to himself. He had won several competitions, from school to state level, and it would not be wrong to call him an art prodigy.
Kimitsu is a Japanese name which means bright slash or shining star, and therefore I have used that unlike his name and appearance. Like name is means shine and bright, but he's silent, he's quiet, he's introverted, he's reserved. So that is why, just to make it clear.
"Did you hear? Taoji-sensei said there's a new admission." "Sensei teacher." "But isn't it too late? We're already in the middle of the session." "Why do we have to care? It's his problem whether he passes or not." "By the way, what's his name? Sensei mentioned it, but I can't remember." His name was Akimitsu Chino." Hi, yes. Shado Honda. Shado in Japanese means winter, seated at the last bench of the 5th row near the window, though he was neither interested in his surroundings nor in the gossip, but something caught his attention. That was the beautiful name Akimitsu. For him, this name made him feel a strange warmth even if he had heard it for the first time. Shado was effortlessly handsome, his jet-black hair that framed his partially tanned skin and sharp, almond-shaped eyes that seemed to draw people in without trying. He stood tall at about 5 feet 9 inches. Though he never took exercising seriously, nor had the time to invest in vigorous physical training, yet by the grace of good genes, he had perfectly defined muscles and a sturdy body. He sure was an eye-catcher. Apart from his appearance, his tranquility leveled up his charm. He often seemed aloof, drifting into his own world, absorbed in his thoughts. Shado was a mystery to most, who always seemed distant in class, like he didn't care about what sensei was saying or what was going on around him. And yet, his name was always among the top scorers. No one could quite figure out how he did it. His classmates didn't exactly like him. He was too distant, too unreadable, but they couldn't deny his brilliance. And so, even though his classmates weren't particularly fond of him, they treated him with respect. Class, Taoji-sensei vigorously. "Boys, can you hear me? Quit gossiping. I'm tired of you people. You gossip more than a group of aunties in a colony." "Gomen na, sensei," the entire class replied in a monotonous tone. Okay. Now listen to me. As I told you before, we have a new admission. So welcome him warmly, 𝙆𝙤𝙣𝙤𝙘𝙝, understood. And the entire class again, 𝙆𝙤𝙣, music, I can't with these boys. Stop singing words. He groaned, rolling his eyes in exasperation. Whatever, I don't have time to waste. He turned toward the newcomer and added curtly, Come on, Akimitsu-san. Introduce yourself to the class. Konnichiwa, Akimitsu-chino desu. Hello, my name is Akimitsu-chino. Don't you have anything else to say? Akimitsu froze for a moment, his expression blank. Then, avoiding eye contact, he shook his head awkwardly, signaling a quiet and hesitant no. Okay, then there is only a vacant seat, so you have to take that only. Is that all right? Ha ye, hi, yes, sensei. Be it fate or the pull of an unseen thread, the empty seat lay diagonally opposite the last one in the 5th row, and its owner was none other than the school's model figure, 𝙆𝙤𝙣𝙤𝙘𝙝𝙤. When Akimitsu introduced himself, 𝙆𝙤 paid no heed. He didn't even look at him, as if his existence bothered him. But be it fate or not, Akimitsu had to take the seat beside 𝙆𝙤, last bench of the 4th row, as it was the only one left empty. Despite being an introvert, Akimitsu initiated his first conversation in a very long time. He could have approached someone else, maybe someone from the 3rd row or the seat in front of him, and it would have been much easier. But he chose 𝙆𝙤, whose eyes were lingering on the world outside. Konnichiwa, I'm Akimitsu. The long-curled lashes falling down, his voice shuddering and body quivering. 𝙆𝙤 replied in a hoarse voice, Do you think I am deaf? I heard it before. 𝙆𝙤's handsome face was marked with frown lines, as if Akimitsu's intrusion had scared him. Normally, he wouldn't even bother to reply and would act deaf to people's words. The cold reply left Akimitsu shaken. His pale skin grew even paler, as if his heart had stopped pumping blood. For the first time in a long while, he had shown some valor by speaking to someone first, but the outcome was nothing like he had hoped. Akimitsu lifted his eyelids, revealing his mesmerizing brown irises. In spite of being turned down once, he mustered all his courage and replied. Maybe this time he had vowed to overcome his miserable condition. I thought you weren't listening. Gomen, nah, sorry. And yet, at most, he could just apologize for intruding on 𝙆𝙤's space. What are you making this kind face for? To our yorcery kid. Leaving the side of the window, 𝙆𝙤 looked at his nervous and frightened face. He toned down his voice a little, but his tone, still indifferent. Akimitsu gave up. Disappointment and sorrow were clearly reflected in his deep-set eyes. He shifted his gaze back to his own desk, quietly took out his textbooks, and arranged his stationery. Meanwhile, 𝙆𝙤 relaxed his expression, as if he felt relieved, and wore his usual emotionless face once again. As Akimitsu arranges his books and stationery, he hears a cheerful voice from the seat at his front, 4th row, 2nd last seat. I am Kobe Ito. Nice to meet you. Ito, the ultimate blabber of the class, is a friendly and outgoing person. However, his habit of poking his nose into other people's business was something nobody liked. Akimitsu flinched a bit and said, Ooh, nice to meet you. You seem to be kinda quiet type. Very opposite of your name, huh? In Japanese, Akimitsu means bright, so here Ito means he is not cheerful at all, unlike his name. No need to act so timid. We are guys. We need to be strong. And yeah, the person you were just trying to talk to is 𝙆𝙤. He's the so-called topper of the class, even though he doesn't seem to have any interest in what's going on around him. Even if you talk to him all day, he won't respond or say anything. It's a waste of time and energy to try talking to him. He is so hard to read that one day he would be a subject to some research organization. I don't know what he thinks of himself. So don't bother wasting your time on him.